there's something I've been playing with in my head. Because obviously as men, we typically mature later in life. You know, maybe 30s we start to mature. You know, we need to work on ourselves and build ourselves up, and work financially. We want to be secure so we can provide and protect our woman and our families. Right? That usually happens later in the 30s. And obviously that's what women want. Right? A lot of the times they want that provider. They want that protection. They want that man that's mature and respectful and understands who he is. So should it not be more acceptable? And I'm not agreeing with this. I'm asking the question. Should it not be more acceptable to see, older men with younger women? I guess. And I guess this is the way it was way in the past.
It is more acceptable.
They always say things like, "Oh well, he's like robbing the cradle. Oh, he shouldn't be with a woman that young. No, she needs to go out and live." Right?
The question is, who is saying that? Not the happy 25-year-old that's with the 35-year-old, 40-year-old that's like, having a time of life, has a kid, happy, being taken care of, maybe works, maybe doesn't work, has her school paid for, take all the financial stuff away. He can talk to her, have an intellectual conversation, tell her about life, help her with stuff. She's not the one complaining. It's not her. It's probably the girl who doesn't have somebody.
Yeah.
That's the one who's complaining.
Potentially. But I feel like there are the feminist movement out there and women out there like, no, you can't do that. No, she needs to go out and she needs to live her life. And if she gets involved too early in life, or 21, 22, then she'll never know who she is and what she's capable of. You know what I mean?
To some degree. So there's this thing where women say they have this hoe phase, which I don't like. I don't even understand that. I don't think you should have a hoe phase. I think you should have experiences too as a woman. Yeah, you should kind of know yourself. Like that argument is valid to a point, but that happens for everybody at a different age. It happens. Some girls might have that figure out at 21, 22, 23. Just as way as as much as I joke about it and I say don't get married super early or whatever, there's just probably some dudes that are just they just built different, man. And they're ready to settle down 22, 23, 20. Yeah. And they cool with that.
Yeah.
For most guys, I don't think that's the case. I think most guys
yeah.
you need to go through some struggle. You need to go through some pain.
Yeah.
It
takes longer for men to mature.
Yeah, you need to. It takes long because men need more time to build what is valued. Women don't. It doesn't. This is gonna. I'm just on a fucking wrecking spree.
Go for it.
So I'm just gonna say shit, and that's part of that's just me being me now. Okay, it takes. And I'm not saying that this is all you're good for, but it takes less to learn how to cook well. It takes less how to learn how to clean well. It takes less to learn how to support your man. Nurturing a child, not easy whatsoever, but I feel like it comes a little bit more naturally for a woman, so you don't have to learn that or build that. The things that take and beauty normally comes pretty natural for women too, right? Maybe you have to work on that a little bit, but it's not going to take years upon years. So on the flip side, for a male, maturing takes I shouldn't say very long time. It takes longer to mature as a male. It takes way longer to build a strong body. It takes longer to establish a career and build yourself and have some stability. It takes longer to date and understand women, where I think men are a little bit easier to understand. We do stupid stuff that we can't even understand 100%. But I think just it takes longer to understand a woman, to understand that what she says is not always what she wants.
It takes longer for us to learn all the things that women find attractive. Right?
So it's obvious that if you're 20 or 22, 23 and a woman, what you're going to find attractive is going to be that person is going to be a little bit older than you,
Yeah.
more than likely,
Yeah.
right? And what we find attractive, like again, it doesn't take you that long to have, and some of the stuff that we find attractive, it's is youthfulness. It's I mean, it's the yin and yang. If we're a little bit older, we want somebody a little bit younger to kind of like
Yeah.
help us feel young again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it would just make sense that older men are with younger women. Now, I think if we're gonna have that discussion, then you have to think, well, where do we draw the line then? That's always my question. I'll play devil's advocate. At what point do you say, well, that's too young? That's a good question, right? What is too young? And if we didn't have laws right now, and like, I'm trying to be fair and have a outright like open conversation. If somebody didn't write a law that said 18, 16, 20 or whatever, what would be acceptable? What would be acceptable? Now I think we're trained to think like anything under this age is unacceptable. For me,
is like
I know,
18 or something, right?
yeah. For me, I think for me it's even a bit older. For me, again, where I'm at, like I
am
think.
too.
Even just to like, even if, you know, hypothetically speaking, if even when I was like to sleep with somebody, like anything less than like, I don't know, and I'm going to go for a stretch here, maybe
Yeah.
like anything less than like 20 to 22, like,
Okay, I was gonna say 21.
yeah, anything less than that. And that's a stretch. That is a stretch. I don't think we can have something serious, but again, it just depends on the person.
Yeah,
But
I'm not
I
even thinking
think-
about myself. I'm thinking about like somebody else. Like if I heard like a 35-year-old was
with like a
21-year-old,
19-year-old or
19, I'd be
something.
like, that's
That's a little
iffy.
weird. That's a little
21,
weird.
22, that's
a
a
little
stretch.
weird.
But I'd be like, okay, like
And part of it too,
you're an adult, 21.
part of it too. Again, I'm just gonna have an open conversation, so don't hate the messenger.
I'm getting you canceled.
The type of woman that I like, the body type and everything that I like, that I am just not like it. You need time to develop that. You're not going to be a child and have that. Now, having said
sometimes.
that, I'm going to be honest. I've seen some girls sometimes I'm just like, damn, that's how old you are? You don't look like that. You don't look like that. You should not be dressing like that. You shouldn't have all of that at that age. That don't make sense.
I don't know what's in this McDonald's, man.
I don't know what's in
I
that
don't know what's in
McDonald's,
the
but I'm like
McDonald's.
you
Yeah.
don't carry yourself like that age, and you don't look that age. Now, if I talk to you and probably look at you, I could probably be like, okay, she's young.
Yeah.
Probably not. Maybe you wouldn't have anything
As soon
serious.
as you talk to them, you know.
Maybe wouldn't have anything serious, but visually looking at you,
Yeah.
you look like you're about the right. You got the proportions correctly
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah.
So
We're evolving as humans, that's for sure. That's for sure.
so yeah,
And it's a
that's
scary as weird as that is to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
it's that's the question though. Like,
Sometimes
at
you
what
look at
point?
these girls and you're like, what the heck, man? Like,
You're not supposed to. Like
No.
you have titties.
Yeah, yeah.
You have an ass and like thick legs, like
Yeah.
strong, developed legs.
yeah. Yeah.
You couldn't have got that fucking jumping off the playing on the swings
No.
and the jungle gym.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know where it came from, bro. I don't know where it came from.
So I think that's a real discussion, like a real discussion
Yeah.
that or a serious question.
Yeah.
I mean, law is law, and that's already like done closed. Like if she's like under 18 or whatever, minor, or 16, depending on where you are.
Yeah,
it's a minor.
in my
That's one
opinion,
thing you can't do
too young. Unless, like, you know, I mean, he like when a man is younger too, when they're both like 18, whatever,
Yeah.
and they say they're deeply in love, whatever. Mormons and all of them, they do it, right?
Yeah.
That's a different story. But like, yeah, for a 30-something-year-old to go start dating an 18-year-old, yeah, a little different.